I always thought I lived in a quiet, safe neighbourhood. I knew my neighbours, said hello in passing, and never once thought that something sinister could be happening right next door. But then, I started noticing things, small things, strange things, and when the truth finally came out, I realised just how close I had been to danger. I live in a suburban neighbourhood, the kind where everyone keeps to themselves but still waves at each other when passing by. I moved in about 3 years ago, and for the most part, life was peaceful. Then a new neighbour moved in. He was a quiet man, maybe in his late 40s, always wearing the same worn-out hoodie and jeans. I never saw him talking to anyone, never saw visitors come by. His house always had the curtains drawn, and he seemed to leave only at odd hours, late at night or very early in the morning. At first I didn't think much of it. Some people just like their privacy, right? But then, the weird stuff started happening. It began with noises. Sometimes, late at night, I'd hear faint banging sounds coming from his house, like furniture being moved, or maybe something heavier. I even heard what sounded like muffled voices, but I could never make out the words. One night, I was taking out the trash when I noticed something even stranger. His garage door was slightly open, and inside, I could see plastic sheets covering the floor. At first, I thought maybe he was just painting or working on a project, but there was no smell of paint. And the sheets? They looked too neatly arranged, too deliberate. Something about it sent chills down my spine. A few weeks later, I ran into him while getting my mail. He never spoke much, but this time, he actually smiled at me. "Hey, you ever have problems with people snooping around here at night?" he asked casually. I shook my head. "No, not really. Why?" His smile faded. "No reason, just be careful. Some people don't know when to mind their own business." I felt a cold knot form in my stomach. It wasn't a warning, it was a threat. A few nights later, I woke up suddenly. I didn't know why at first, but then I heard it, a blood-curdling scream. It came from his house. I jumped out of bed, my heart pounding. I rushed to my window, but his house was dark. The only light was coming from his garage, where that same plastic-covered floor was visible through the small opening. Then I saw movement, a shadow, someone struggling. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, barely able to keep my hands from shaking. 911, what's your emergency? My neighbour, something's happening. I think someone is in danger. The operator asked me to stay on the line, but just as I was about to respond, the garage door slammed shut. Then, silence. For a few minutes I just stood there staring. Then I saw him, my neighbour, stepping outside, looking around, and he was holding a shovel. I ducked down below the window, my breath coming in shallow gasps. Moments later, I heard his car start, and then he drove away into the night. The police arrived within minutes. They knocked on his door, no answer. They tried calling, nothing. Eventually, they broke in. What they found inside made my blood run cold. The plastic sheets? They weren't for painting. They found ropes, duct tape, a locked basement door, and in that basement, evidence that he had been keeping someone there. But the scariest part, the person was gone. There was no body, no victim, just an empty space where someone had clearly been held. The cops searched for days, even brought in dogs, but my neighbour had vanished. No one ever saw him again. I can't stop thinking about it. What if I had never called the police? What if I had gone back to sleep, ignored the noises, dismissed the signs? I keep wondering, who was he keeping there? And did they escape? Or did he get to them first? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story gave you chills, upvote, share this post with someone who needs to hear it.